Looking back, I don't know that I was attracted to playing the character more than the people in the project because I loved the whole crew. From the top down, there was just such extraordinary people. To me, it was all of that. It was all the pieces that really made me want to be a part of it. And looking back, I realized why, because after the first week when I'd had a sort of breakdown, I'd been in the freezing cold sea, I'd been running through brambles, and that was just the end of week one. I suddenly thought, what have I got myself involved in?
And action!
It's been a really long sort of gestation, and it's partly because it's such a weird idea to do this. It's such a difficult idea for people to get their heads around. And it wasn't really until we started talking to Sky and HBO that we found partners that were just willing to give it a go.
The Oceans have their own form of Christianity, and in fact it's called the third day because on the first day God created the heavens, on the second day God created the earth, on the third day God separated the land and the sea. And so this particular form where they believe that there is a sort of Christ figure, but he comes from the water.
Felix had this idea of like a stranger comes to town sort of thought, you know, so I began to think of this guy, Sam, and the more I began to think about him, the more there was something that was going on in his past that he needed to resolve. So that's sort of where it came from.
Looks like you're staying.
No, I can't stay.
You can't leave.
So always with the third day, we knew that we wanted to have two very distinct halves to the story. So we wanted to imbue that with both the two different seasons. So summer is a very rich and vivid palette of color, and it's got a real sort of bucolic, lucid light and very sort of pervasive sense of powerful summer feelings, both kind of the temperature, but also the crickets in the soundtrack, and down to the way that the camera moves as well. That there's such a strong following of Sam's character with Jude Law in nearly every frame of this piece, which is really unusual. And then for winter, wonderful director Philippa Lothorpe created a very different aesthetic, but within the same world, you know, so we used greys and blues and deep greens.
When I first read it, I was immediately engrossed, intrigued, constantly surprised, and I just loved this character of Helen. Kind of loved Sam as well as really despised him, and was just really intrigued about this amazing world that was created. And then when I discovered that OC actually exists as an island, that blew my mind, and I was like, I'm in.
Are we driving on that?
Yeah, it's a causeway. It's built by the Romans. So that island over there, can you see it? It's called OC. Isn't it incredible? We're gonna have so much fun, aren't we? Yeah?
I think this is one of the hardest logistic operations that I've ever filmed. It was a huge, massive, great, machine trying to get us all on and off the island, across the causeway. It was like an absolute military operation, planned down to the last centimetre.
The causeway is open for 4 hours a day or something, and you know, when that's closed, then everything has to come in by boat.
When I read the script, there was a part of me thinking, you'd get off the island. You know, you wouldn't be that stuck there, surely, from Sam's point of view. You'd find a way off there. And then when you actually stay on the island, I started to feel that bit of restriction, I can't get out of here.
The whole thing has been the most challenging job I've ever done, hands down. You know, when you start thinking and delving in your heart and your soul, the pits of grief that you must go through when you lose not just someone you love, but your child, is not a very pleasant place to be. And I've been there for 4 months every day, and it's not been easy. But there have been lots of days that have been joyful, working with this incredible cast, trying to keep a straight face in front of the Martins with Emily and Paddy, who are just hilarious and brilliant without being over the top.
Jude is an acting machine. I mean, he is working incredibly hard. He's very precise, he's very focused, he's really, really on top of the material, full of ideas, very creative, just real actor's actor, you know, really a trooper.
I just found her. I didn't know.
Come with me now, love.
Playing, was it? Little game? Just messing, was it, love? Little game?
Shut up, you fucking idiot.
We shot the scene where Sam and I are trying to get on to Tomo's boat. And as the day wore on, the tide started to go out. There was only like 2 inches of water. So we were kind of in the muck, pretending to swim and then pretending to reach up for the ladder and hoist ourselves on. And it was just so absurd. I love those moments always.
The scenes where I have to get in the water, it is absolutely bloody freezing. I'm freezing not even anywhere near the water, and I have to swim.
I haven't worked in television much, so it's a fascinating and strange experience to make one show with 2 different directors.
And I think what's so great about it is that everyone knows what we're trying to do with this is push form, and they're both so open.
And slipping from one to another, both with very particular approaches and styles, but playing the same character has been really extraordinary. And I think a lot of the actors have felt that, a lot of the team, the crew have felt that.
I honestly can say it's been amazing.